North Myrtle Beach and Surfside Beach. These two areas sit on the same coastline and are part of the Grand Strand, but living in them feels completely different. I hear this regret all the time. We love being near the beach, but we chose the wrong spot. North Myrtle Beach and Surfside Beach look similar on a map, but daily life is not the same. Today, I'm breaking down the real differences so you don't end up loving the beach, but regretting where you live. If you're thinking about buying, relocating, or investing near the coast, this video will give you clarity. I help people choose between North Myrtle Beach and Surfside every single week. And the biggest mistake I see is people choosing based on vacation experiences instead of everyday living. Today we're talking about lifestyle, noise and hustle bustle, traffic and parking, pricing, and long-term comfort. Here in the Myrtle Beach area, we have beautiful white sand beaches. In fact, we have 60 miles of uninterrupted coastline. We call this entire area the Grand Strand. People assume coastal areas feel the same. It's the beach, right? Close to the ocean is close to the ocean. Actually, where you live along our lovely coastline within the Grand Strand affects your experience. Daily life near the beach depends on housing density, tourism patterns, roads and infrastructure, and community layout. And a lot of this is influenced by the history of the area. I've worked with people who love the ocean, but feel overwhelmed by all the activity in their area, and others who feel isolated because they chose too quiet a spot. The mistake isn't choosing the coast, it's choosing the wrong type of coastal living. North Myrtle Beach. North Myrtle Beach generally feels more spread out. This is because North Myrtle Beach didn't exist until 1968. It was formed by consolidating 4 smaller beach communities: Cherry Grove, Crescent Beach, Ocean Drive Beach, and Windy Hill Beach. It is about 21 square miles in total. That's why you'll find more residential pockets, a mix of condos and homes, and quieter stretches. Some areas feel very local. Others feel more seasonal. It often appeals to people who want beach access without constant activity. But certain times of year, traffic and visitors still matter. Our peak season is summer, Memorial Day through Labor Day, and that is when you'll notice the most difference. Ocean Boulevard is the road that hugs the beach and is sometimes interrupted by waterways, marshes, or buildings. It's lined by beachfront homes and condos. There are many public beach access points along Ocean Boulevard. Now, Kings Highway is an important uninterrupted artery up and down our coast. It's the closest main road to the beach, just to the west and running parallel of Ocean Boulevard. In North Myrtle Beach, there is generally good traffic flow on these roadways, but during peak season, it can be quite congested. The ICW, or Intracoastal Waterway, has a big impact here too. Not because of the actual water necessarily, but because the waterway separates the beach from the rest of the mainland. West of the waterway is impacted much less by tourism than the east of the waterway, because east of the waterway is closer to the beach. For example, the neighborhood of Robbers Roost is a very centrally located community east of the waterway and east of Kings Highway, just a half mile from the beach. You can just hop on your golf cart and take the small side road of 11th Avenue South straight to the beach, only needing to cross Ocean Boulevard. Also conveniently near Robbers Roost, just a golf cart away, is plenty of shopping and dining at Coastal North Town Center, which has everything from a Publix to a PetSmart to a Hobby Lobby. This is definitely a very convenient area to live in, and it is also much busier during peak season. Contrast this with Tidewater Plantation, which is a gated community on a golf course with a clubhouse, pool, and tennis courts. Although east of the waterway, it is still 4 miles to the beach. You definitely have to get in your car to get to the beach or shops and restaurants. Being set apart like this from the restaurants and businesses and being 4 miles from the beach keeps Tidewater Plantation serene and free from any hustle and bustle of tourist season. Residents of this community will only notice peak season if they choose to visit areas affected by that. Now, the Barefoot Landing residential developments are somewhere in the middle of these two as far as impact of the busyness of the peak season. It is just west of the waterway, so a little further from the busiest tourist areas, yet close enough you can ride your golf cart to Barefoot Landing shops and restaurants, as well as to the beach. Now, short-term rentals are not allowed within the communities of Barefoot Landing, so while the shops and restaurants get busier, the neighborhoods stay pretty quiet. Life in Surfside Beach. Surfside Beach is more compact. It has to do with its history. This area was just used for fishing, lumber, and farming until the 1950s. In 1954, there were only 65 houses, and Hurricane Hazel came along and destroyed 18 of them. The redevelopment following the hurricane brought in the first grocery store and turned the sleepy hamlet into what has become known as the Family Beach. Given this tiny hamlet's rural beginnings, the lots are small and houses and businesses are close together. That convenience comes with more activity and noise of hustle and bustle. Important to know, Surfside Beach is 10 square miles, but there is an incorporated part within the city limits and an unincorporated part which has the Surfside address but is not within city limits. It is the small part, the city of Surfside, that is close to the beach with a community feel. It is only 2 square miles. The unincorporated area of Surfside Beach, which is west of Kings Highway, is an additional 8 square miles. Of important note, there are big differences in local rules and regulations depending on the area of Surfside. Now, within the city limits, there are mom and pop restaurants, a library, a park with a playground, and small businesses. Tuesdays bring the very popular farmers market in the park. A typical lot size for a home is around 0.11 acres and sometimes as small as 0.05 acres. There's only so much real estate near the beach, so lots are small to accommodate as many homes as possible. And as we touched on before, until fairly recently, this was just a sleepy little hamlet with some fishing shacks. There was no need for larger lots. Now, for some people, that energy is a positive. For others, it feels like too much. Now, the unincorporated part of Surfside, which is west of Kings Highway, it feels a little different. And there is also a variety of homes and developments. Although there is a timeshare complex that gets busier in peak season, most of the residential neighborhoods west of Kings Highway stay pretty quiet. The neighborhoods within HOA, which is most of them, do not allow short-term rentals, so they maintain their residential feel year-round. We'll start with the retreated Ocean Commons. This is near the timeshare complex and is close enough for residents to golf cart to the beach. Although no short-term rentals are allowed within the neighborhood, due to the proximity to the timeshare complex, residents will experience congestion on the roads leading into their neighborhood. Contrast this with Prestwick, a private gated community 4 miles from the beach, about a 10-minute drive from the beach. It has a golf course with a beautiful clubhouse, pool, and tennis courts. Within this community, it is a little busier when homeowners are out and about enjoying the amenities during pleasant weather, but there are no tourists present. Belmare, also about 10 minutes from the beach, is conveniently located near larger franchise shopping and restaurant areas. No short-term rental is allowed in the neighborhood, but the nearby businesses and roads are busier during vacation season. Even though it isn't super close to the beach, vacationers frequent the stores and restaurants nearby. Home prices and cost differences. Pricing varies widely, more within areas than between. North Myrtle Beach is a much larger geographic area, about 21 square miles with 9 miles of coastline. It often offers just more inventory and variety across price points just by virtue of having more land area. Surfside Beach is only 10 square miles total with 2 miles of coastline. There is just less inventory overall. For either area, there are higher prices for proximity to the beach and convenience, differing monthly costs of insurance, HOA fees, and maintenance. Two buyers with the same budget can have very different experiences. Insurance. Wind and hail is always required in the Grand Strand, but it is higher the closer you are to the beach. If a house is within an area likely to flood, a flood insurance policy will also be required. HOA fees vary depending on services and amenities provided in the community, which also affects maintenance requirements. Oceanfront homes. Whether in North Myrtle Beach or Surfside Beach, oceanfront homes begin at about $1.3 million and go up to a little bit over $4 million. The median priced home in either area is around $450,000. If you're watching this and thinking, I need help deciding between these two, please book a call with me. The link is in the description. I'm happy to help you compare them. And please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Seasonality matters more near the coast. Traffic, noise, parking, and crowd levels change. Some people don't mind it, others feel overwhelmed. The mistake is assuming vacation season feels the same as everyday life. Living here year-round feels very different than visiting. Parking. Let's talk about parking. If you live within the city limits of either North Myrtle Beach or Surfside Beach, you are eligible for a parking pass. This gives you free parking at any of the many parking areas at the beach. If your home is outside of the city limits, you will have to pay for parking at the beach, which is from $2 to $4 an hour. And yes, the parking lots stay pretty full in peak tourist season. There are communities such as Barefoot Landing and Tidewater Plantation that have their own beach cabanas and parking dedicated to their own residents, which is a really nice plus. Another option many residents like to use is parking in our local state parks. For just $99 a year, you can buy a state park membership, which not only gets you into every state park in South Carolina, but also gets you into Myrtle Beach State Park and Huntington Beach State Park, where you can park your car and go to the beach from there. Living here long-term versus being here for a vacation. A place that feels amazing for a week can feel exhausting long-term. North Myrtle Beach or Surfside Beach west of Kings Highway often work well for people focused on year-round living. The part of Surfside Beach east of Kings Highway often works well for people who value walkability and energy. Neither is better. They just serve different priorities. Common buyers' mistakes I see are choosing based on a single visit, ignoring seasonal patterns, and underestimating noise and traffic. These are not financial mistakes. They are lifestyle mistakes, and they show up after the move. So which one is better? There is no best beach area. There's only the best fit for how you live. When people choose based on daily life, they enjoy coastal living much more. And that's the goal. If you're trying to decide between North Myrtle Beach and Surfside Beach or another coastal area in the Grand Strand, I'd love to help. I have people just like you reaching out every week trying to make the right coastal move. The easiest next step is to schedule a call. The link is in the description. And please, like, subscribe, and share.